Hello students, Namaste. Welcome to this session of our second PUC Political Science class. Hope you are doing well. Today we are continuing the fourth chapter, Social Movements and their Political Implications. We are in the last concept of this chapter, that is environment movement. Students, we have to know about the meaning of environment, then we have to understand the causes for the environment movement and the political implications of this environment movement. Students, there is a close relationship between the human being and the environment. There is a close affinity between the people and the environment, because we are the part of the environment. We need a clean and safe environment, because in order to live a healthy life in the society, we need a clean and safe environment. All of we know this factor. Today, the world is facing a kind of environment emergency, mainly because of the greediness of the people, because of the development, in the name of development, in the name of industrialization, in the name of liberalization, globalization, privatization, we, the people, are making a continuous exploitation of our environment. That is why we are struggling to keep a clean environment today. It is a necessity, because for the future generation, we have to bring this environment. But the continuous exploitation of the natural resources by the people, or use of the nature according to their whims and fancies, this environment degradation has been started. So, there is a need to protect the environment. So, what is the environment? First of all, we have to know what is environment. Environment is the sum total of all biotic and abiotic, that means living and non-living factors and conditions. Environment is the sum total of all biotic and abiotic. Abiotic means living and non-living things. So, both living and non-living things include in the environment. So, we are the part of the environment, and it also includes the climate, the atmosphere, the air, the water, the temperature, the light, the fire, soil, etc. So, apart from we people, the environment also consists of all other things like climate, atmosphere, air, water, temperature, light, fire, soil, etc. So, it is a sum total of all these things or factors, that is including living and non-living things. So, this environment is very essential for our survival. But what is going on today is the continuous exploitation of this environment. We may have the idea, when we looking towards our surroundings, there is a continuous exploitation of environment by the people. The rain today become irregular. The carbon dioxide rate in the atmosphere is increasing. In the North Pole and in the South Pole, ice is melting. The sea level is rising. In one side there is a flood, in other side there is a famine, soil erosion, cloud burst. So, all these problems are there. People are suffering from various kinds of diseases, viruses. So, all these diseases or virus is because of the climatic changes. We are making the exploitation over the environment. This directly lead to several other impacts. So, there is a need to protect our environment. So, in order to protect the environment from the continuous exploitation, the environment movement become essential. So, environment movement has been started in order to protect the environment and to bring the environment safe, clean environment for the future generation. So, here we have to study what are the causes for the environment movement. Different causes are there which led to the environment movement. So, we have to study the causes for the environment movement. So, first important cause for the environment movement is to protect the environmental degradation, to protect the environmental degradation, to protect the environmental degradation. As already told, the government has taken several measures for the economic development. In the name of economic development, government has taken several measures, implemented several measures, including the industrialization and the technological development. We are making our country as an industrialized country. We are implementing advanced technologies, but because of that economic development or industrialization or urbanization, adverse effects are there. What are the adverse effects? The loss of cultivable land. People are losing their agricultural land today. The government is trying to create special economic zones, SEZs, special economic zones. The government is welcoming the capitalists or the investors through a red carpet. We are inviting them. These industrialists are ready to invest their capital only when the basic necessities are provided by the government. Basic facilities are provided by the government. So, land, water, transport, etc., these facilities should be provided by the government. So, for that reason, the government is creating a special economic zones. How these special economic zones are created? By taking the land from the poor farmers. So, today the farmers are losing their cultivable lands. The fertility of the soil also lost. So, totally in the name of development, in the name of industrialization, in the name of technological advancement, we are making a threat, we are making an attack over the environment. So, because of industrialization, because of economic development, the peaceful atmosphere, healthy atmosphere is polluted. The water pollution, air pollution, sound pollution, everything is happened. Several diseases, slum areas are developed. In the name of urbanization, slum areas are developed. New diseases emerged, originated. So, these are the impact which directly affects the environment. So, in order to protect the environment from all these degradation, there is a need of a movement. So, in this way environment movement has been started. So, in order to protect the environmental degradation, movement has been started by the noted environmentalists. So, that is the first reason to protect the environmental degradation. Second reason is to protect the biodiversity, to protect the biodiversity, to protect the biodiversity. Today, due to deforestation for fuel and construction purpose, the wildlife today, the birds, they become orphans. We have the idea where so many birds, so many animals today lost their existence. We have to see. Luckily, we people have the opportunity to see some birds or animals in the zoos. It is in the zoos, not in the forest, but they are only in limited number. But one or the other day, our future generation even cannot see these birds or animals in the zoos also. That means we are directly making our animals or birds as orphans. We are directly attacking the atmosphere. So, the deforestation for fire and construction purpose makes these animals or birds as orphans. So, in order to safeguard the birds or animals or even the trees, several movements were started. Chipko movement in North India, Appiko movement even in Karnataka, in the Uttara Kannada district, Appiko movement has been started. Then say Western Ghat movement has been started. So, several movements are started mainly to protect the environment, mainly to protect the wildlife or trees or birds. So, this is the second reason. In order to protect the biodiversity, environment movement is essential, it becomes essential. Then the third one is environmental education and consciousness. Environmental education and consciousness. Formal education in the schools or even the colleges and the non-governmental organizations, they are called as NGOs. So, these formal educations have created awareness among the people. What kind of awareness? Awareness to protect the environment. It is very essential. Creating awareness among the people regarding the protection of environment is very essential today, because already mentioned the concept, that is, we are in the environmental emergency. There is a great threat to our existence itself. That is why formal educations regarding the protection of environment through various means is very essential. You may have the idea, in 2014, our central government launched one important project which is given to everybody, to the mass, to the people, that is Swachh Bharat, Swachh Bharat, Swastha Bharat. The main intention of Swachh Bharat or Swastha Bharat was to create awareness among the people, Clean India concept. Our Prime Minister praised the students in various occasions for successfully implementing that particular concept, because it is the responsibility of each and every citizen of the country to implement this particular concept. Why? We have to protect our environment. Students in large scale propagated this idea in various schools. Students advocated the zero use of plastics. Then open defecation. So movement against open defecation was made. Spitting in the public places. These should be banned. So awareness was created by the students, and still we did not achieve a 100% result. Still we the students, we the citizens must join our hands with the government by making Swachh Bharat as a successful one. So why I am giving this example here? Because formal education is necessary. It become necessary today in order to create awareness among the people. So environmental education is necessary. So in this regard, several jatas, rallies were organized by the government. Every year, June 5th is celebrated as the Environment Day. Almost all of you know that fact. June 5th is the Environment Day. Students, please note, it is a 1 mark question in examination. So Environment Day. What is the purpose of organizing Environment Day? But one thing we must remember, it should not restricted to June 5th. We have to celebrate, we have to follow forestation in every day. But in order to create awareness among the people, one day is fixed for the environmental protection, that is June 5th is celebrated as the Environment Day in order to create awareness among the people. So several jatas, rallies, seminars were organized in order to create awareness. So environment movement is also necessary to create education among the people, to create awareness or consciousness among the people. So this is the third reason why environment movement has been started. Then the fourth one is to curb the environment decay. Fourth one, to curb the environment decay. To curb the environment decay. The greediness of the people to excavate or exploit the resources have resulted in several impacts like soil erosion, drying up of rivers and reservoirs, pollution of air, water, sound, etc., and so on. So here it is the greediness of the people which resulted in the excavation and exploiting the resources. You have the idea, in various places today, because of heavy rain, there is a landslide. Near Madikeri or Gonikoppal, or in Talkaveri, Brahmagiri forest, or even that particular hill has been, there was a landslide. So why such kind of incidents are taking place? This is because of a man-made fault. It is we people who exploited the environment, who excavated, who exploited natural resources and wanted to make profit. We use land as a business. Because of that reason, these incidents were took place. That is why this kind of incidents also led to several other impacts to the environment like soil erosion or even drying up of rivers, reservoirs, soil, even pollution of air, water, sound, etc. Carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere is increasing today. There is a depletion of ozone layer. Then already mentioned the ice in the North Pole and in the South Pole is melting today. Because of that reason, the sea level is rising today. There is an acid rain, greenhouse effect. All these are because of environmental pollution. So, in order to curb this environmental decay and to maintain equilibrium, that is important, maintain equilibrium, and to pressurize the people who are in power to take effective measures to protect the environment, such kind of environmental movement is necessary. So, there is a necessity to pressurize the government or the ruling party or those people who are in power to take a proper step to protect the environment. We must unite together and must make a movement. So, that is why the fourth one is to curb the environment decay, we need a movement. So, students, please note 4 important reasons led to environment movement. 4 important reasons led to the environment movement. So, when the 5 marks question is there in the examination regarding the causes of environment movement, you have to mention all the 4 points with the explanation, that needs explanation. So, this is the causes for the environment movement. Because of the environment movement, several changes has been taken by the government. The government also took several measures to protect the environment. So, now we have to see what are the changes, that is the political implications. Again a 5 marks question may be asked in the examination, explain the political implications of the environment movement. So, what are the political implications? Students, please note, our constitution was amended in 1976. It is one of the important amendment took place to the Indian constitution in 1976. So, by making an amendment to the Constitution of India in 1976, part 4th was included under the directive principle, part 4th of the Constitution, under directive principles of state policy, DPSP, directive principles of state policy. So, matters related to the protection of environment has been included. So, in 1976 constitutional amendment to the part 4th of the Indian constitution, under directive principles of state policy, matters related to the environment has been included. And the government of India established the National Committee for Environmental Planning, National Committee for Environmental Planning, National Committee for Environmental Planning. So, this institution has been established by the government of India under the Department of Science and Technology, under the Department of Science and Technology. And this institution has been changed as Ministry of Environment and Forest, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Ministry of Environment and Forest in 1985. So, same National Committee for Environmental Planning was changed as a separate independent ministry called Ministry of Environment and Forest. It is a independent ministry today at the central level, which is looking towards the protection of environment, dealing the matters related to the environment. Today at the center, Prakash Javadekar is the present environment and forest minister, who is taking the steps to protect the environment in India. So, what are the measures taken in India after independence? Several measures are taken by the government. First important measure is regarding the Ganga water cleaning plan. Ganga water cleaning plan. Ganga water cleaning plan. It is one of the important problem in India, Ganga water, cleaning of Ganga water. Almost all of you know river Ganga or Ganges. One of the sacred river in India, holy river in India. Today, the status of river Ganga is very in dangerous condition. She is almost polluted today. So, in order to protect river Ganga, many environmentalists took the initiative. In this regard, M.C. Mehta, Shri M.C. Mehta, students please note the name of M.C. Mehta, a noted environmentalist who filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court of India, Honorable Supreme Court of India, through a PIL. Almost all of you know the PIL, full form of PIL, Public Interest Litigation. So, he filed a PIL in the Supreme Court of India regarding the cleaning of Ganga water. So, there may be a question in the examination for 1 mark, who filed a petition in the Supreme Court for the cleaning of Ganga water. So, Shri M.C. Mehta, he filed a petition in the Supreme Court of India regarding the cleaning of Ganga water. So, Supreme Court directed the central government to take a proper step. So, what the central government did? Central government appointed an expert committee to look into the matter. So, expert committee was formed. The expert committee prepared the report and submitted it to the central government. What are the suggestions of the expert committee? The main suggestions of the expert committee, 3 suggestions are provided by the expert committee. So, first suggestion of the expert committee was establishing a processing unit, to clean the drainage water, near the river basin. One of the pollution is because of drainage water. In the river basin, several industries were developed, then houses were built. The drainage water was directly led to the river Ganga. So, one of the major pollution of water was because of drainage water. So, the committee suggested to to establish a processing unit. That is very important. Today almost all the metropolitan cities have this particular processing unit. The processing unit, what it will do? It will clean the drainage water. It can be reused. By cleaning the drainage water, it can be reused for other purposes. It may be used for the agriculture purposes. So, this committee suggested to establish a processing unit in order to clean the drainage water. The first suggestion was cleaning the drainage water. Second one is to stop throwing dead bodies to the river, and suggested to establish 28 crematoriums. Stop to throw the dead bodies. What is the dead bodies? In the river basin of Ganga, Harishchandra Ghat is there. Near Varanasi, Harishchandra Ghat is there. There is a belief among the people that if the dead bodies are burnt in Harishchandra Ghat or in the river basin, Ganga river basin, then they will directly move to the heaven. The soul will directly enter the heaven. So, in this regard, almost all the people from North India, they will bring dead bodies to cremate in river Ganga, basin of the river Ganga. So, what happened? Because of the queue, the dead body queue is there. Because of the queue of the dead bodies, the half burnt dead bodies will be thrown away to the river. So, because of that reason, Ganga water has been polluted. So, in order to avoid this, the committee suggested to establish 28 more crematoriums. It is one of the solutions to avoid throwing dead bodies to the river. Then third important suggestion was protection and maintenance of Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is also one of the, almost all of you know about Taj Mahal, one of the wonders of the world. It is necessary to protect Taj Mahal because of environmental pollution. Today Taj Mahal is also losing its old glory. So, in order to protect Taj Mahal, protection of environment and preventing the pollution of Ganga water is also very necessary. So, these three suggestions were made by the expert committee formed by the central government. So, this is one of the step according to because of M.C. Mehta's affidavit to the Supreme Court of India. A expert committee was formed by the central government, and the expert committee suggested three important measures which can prevent the pollution of Ganga water. Then again another committee, 3-member committee was established, that was Krishna Mahajan committee, 3-member committee called Krishna Mahajan committee. He was a chairman, Krishna Mahajan was a chairman. So, Krishna Mahajan committee was formed. The other 2 members are S.K. Ghosh and R.C. Trivedi. R.C. Trivedi are the members of, were the members of Krishna Mahajan committee. So, Krishna Mahajan committee, 3-member committee was formed. Again, this committee was formed to study the factors responsible for the pollution in and around Taj Mahal. This committee was formed to study the factors which are responsible for the pollution of Taj Mahal. So, this committee submitted its report. This committee submitted its report in 1996. This report has been submitted to the central government and suggested suitable measures for the protection of Taj Mahal. So, according to the committee report today, no industry, the permission to new industries is not provided, and even the existing industries were also shifted from in around Taj Mahal, nearly 200 meters from Taj Mahal. The main reason is to avoid pollution. No new licenses were given. Strict actions are taken in order to protect the Taj Mahal, one of the wonders of the world. So, apart from this, the central government also taken several other measures like Namami Ganga project. You may have the idea, the present government initiated Namami Ganga project, and a separate ministry has been established to clean Ganga water. Now, shipping is started in Ganga water. Nearly 22,000 crore rupees plan has been made for cleaning of Ganga water under the Namami Ganga project. Several measures are taken, but still the Ganga pollution, river water pollution has been lowered, not completely stopped, but control has been made. Still work is going on in order to purify Ganga water. Then the third important step taken by the government is regarding the legislation. Important legislations are made. Important legislations are made for the protection of environment. What are the important legislations? Some of the important legislations made by the Government of India are Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Then second one is the Water Prevention and Pollution Control Act of 1974, Water Pollution and Prevention and Pollution Control Act of 1974, Protection of Forest Act of 1980, Protection of Forest Act of 1980, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1981, Environmental Maintenance Act of 1986, Environmental Maintenance Act of 1986, and one of the important act, you must remember this act, that is the Biodiversity Act of 2002. Why I am stressing this act? A one mark question may be asked in the examination, when Biodiversity Act has been made. So, in 2002 Biodiversity Act has been made by the central government, and one more act, that is Forest Conservation Act of 1980, Forest Conservation Act of 1980 was made. These are the some important legislations made by the central government in order to protect our environment. Apart from these, the state governments also took the initiative to protect the environment and to prevent environmental pollutions. Government of Karnataka established regional centers in various parts of the states like Bengaluru, Davanagere, Mangaluru, Kalaburgi, then Raichur, Hassan, Dharwad, Belagavi, Tumkur. In these areas, regional centers were made to protect the environment effectively. 3 divisional centers are also made by the government of Karnataka, that is in Dharwad, Mangaluru and in Kalaburgi. 3 divisional centers are made in order to look after the environmental protection. So, these are some of the important actions taken by the government. It is no doubt both central government and the state government are taking suitable steps for the protection of environment and also tries to prevent environmental pollutions. These things you have to remember. Then the last aspect we have to study, that is some important movements related to environment. So, what are the important movements related to the protection of environment? The first, some movements. The first important movement regarding the protection of environment, that is Chipko movement. Chipko movement. Chipko movement is one of the prominent movement in the North India. It was a non-violent movement, and this particular movement became popular by hugging the trees. It is an important movement by protecting the trees by hugging them. Chandi Prasad Bhatt, one of the noted environmentalists, Chandi Prasad Bhatt, one of the noted environmentalists, and also a social activist, he initiated this particular Chipko movement in order to prevent the cutting of trees for commercial purpose. So, Chandi Prasad Bhatt, one of the noted environmentalist or the social activist, he initiated the Chipko movement for the first time, and this movement mainly aims to prevent the cutting of trees for the commercial purpose. As already mentioned, by hugging the trees, non-violent method, by hugging the trees, this particular movement has been started. Soon this movement was supported by women and other contractors. A jata was organized, women organized a jata in hill area for nearly 75 kilometers from Uttarakashi to Kasauli. From Uttarakashi to Kasauli, a jata was organized, 75 kilometer jata was organized in order to create awareness among the people regarding the protection of trees. So, the Chipko movement became popular. But one thing you must remember, this particular movement became so much popular throughout the country by other important environmentalists. The noted environmentalist, he is considered as the chief architect of the Chipko movement. So, even though Chandi Prasad Bhatt initiated this movement, but this movement became more popular by Sundarlal Bahuguna. Student, please note, Sundarlal Bahuguna, a noted environmentalist who popularized this movement. So, he is considered as a chief architect of Chipko movement. Along with the Sundarlal Bahuguna, the other important environmentalists are Ghanashyam Shathuri, Ghanashyam Shathuri, Ghanashyam Shathuri, Hindu T.K. Khar, Hindu T.K. Khar, then Dhoom Singh Neghi, Dhoom Singh Neghi. Almost all of you know these names, they are the noted environmentalists in India. So, along with Sundarlal Bahuguna, who is considered the chief architect of environmental movement or Chipko movement in India. So, Ghanashyam Shathuri, Hindu T.K. Khar and Dhoom Singh Neghi, they associated with this movement. So, today Chipko movement still exists and it is most popular movement in the northern India. Like Chipko movement in Karnataka, same kind of movement was started for the protection of trees, and the name of the movement in Karnataka is called Appiko movement. The nature of the movement is same. So, we gave the Kannada name to that particular movement. It is called Appiko movement. Appiko movement, it is movement inspired by the Chipko movement, and this movement has been started in Malnad area in Uttara Kannada. Malnad area in Uttara Kannada, particularly in Sirsi, Siddhapura area of Uttara Kannada, this particular movement has been started. It was started in 1983. Please note, students, it is a 1 marks question. It was started in 1983 by Panduranga Hegde. By Panduranga Hegde. So, Panduranga Hegde started this movement in Salkeni. He started the movement in Salkeni in 1983, simply hugging the trees. In order to prevent the cutting of trees, this movement has been started. The motive behind this movement is we are ready to sacrifice our life for the sake of trees. The motto of this movement is we are ready to sacrifice our life for the sake of the trees. So, Panduranga Hegde started this movement in 1983 at Salkeni in Uttara Kannada. So, people from Sirsi, Siddhapura area in Uttara Kannada or Malnad region supported this movement, and this movement was a protest against the contractors who are cutting the trees by getting licenses from the government. So, in order to prevent the cutting of trees, this movement has been started, which is popularly known as Appiko movement. Then the third important movement related to the protection of environment in India is Narmada Bachao Andolan. Narmada Bachao Andolan. Narmada Bachao Andolan. It is one of the noted movement in Gujarat. Narmada river is in Gujarat. So, Narmada Bachao Andolan, this Andolan or movement was initially by the farmers, tribals and the local people in Gujarat. It is regarding the heightening the bridge, particularly heightening the dam, Narmada dam, that is Sardar dam. It is popularly called as Sardar Sarovar project. So, it was a movement against heightening the dam of Sardar Sarovar project. The people from Sardar Sarovar, Narmada river basin, particularly farmers and tribals, with the support of the environmentalists, NGOs and other two important leaders, that is Baba Amte and Medha Patkar. Baba Amte and Medha Patkar. So, please note, students, please note, two important leaders who associated with Narmada Bachao Andolan. You have to mention their names. Question may be asked in the examination. Mention the important leaders of the Narmada Bachao Andolan, Medha Patkar and Baba Amte, and other NGOs, environmentalists, non-government organizational environmentalists, who supported this movement, who supported the people against the heightening of the Narmada dam. So, this led the movement. What was the problem? By increasing the height of the dam, so many people lost their agricultural land and houses. The government should provide proper rehabilitation. When the government failed to give proper rehabilitation to the people, then this movement has been started, which was supported by these leaders. Finally, what happened? A case has been filed in the Supreme Court, and final conclusion was not made, and the central government appointed a water dispute tribunal to settle the issue. Water dispute tribunal was established by the central government to settle the issue. Finally, now the Sardar Sarovar project has been completed. You have the idea, the Statue of Unity, that is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's statue, is still located in near to the Sardar Sarovar project, that is the Narmada river basin. And this dam is providing water to three important states, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. Anyhow, the government still trying to provide rehabilitation to the deceased people of this project. So, third one. Then fourth important movement in India was Western Ghat movement. Western Ghat movement. So, Western Ghat movement, this movement was started against the Kudremukh iron project in 1970. In 1970s, this movement was started particularly in Kudremukh region. The people from Sringeri, Kudremukh areas, then Kalasa, Kudremukh, Shivamogga, Kalasa area people, they organized an agitation called Western Ghat movement. Why? Against illegal mining. The government of India gave a contract for mining in Kudremukh area, iron mining. Nearly 15 lakh acres of land, 15 lakh acres of land has been given for mining by the government. Because of that reason, nearly 4,000 families were affected. 4,000 families were affected. There were so many farmers, tribal people who are living in the Kudremukh area, they were affected. And most importantly, this mining project also affected to the Tunga and Bhadra river banks. The main source of Tunga and Bhadra rivers are from Western Ghats. It is originating from Western Ghats, and these two rivers, Tunga and Bhadra rivers are affected. So, people from the Western Ghat area under the leadership of Kumar Kalanandamani, organized a protest. They organized a jata, cycle jata, by holding a placard, Save Tunga Mula and ban mining. They hold a placard, Save Tunga Mula and ban mining. So, cycle jata was organized in order to create awareness among the people and in order to pressurize the government against the illegal mining in Kudremukh area. And this is popularly known as Western Ghat movement. Kumar Kalanandamani and other important figures of the Western Ghat movement are Jagadish Godwale from Pune, then Pandurang Hegde, as we already mentioned his name, Pandurang Hegde from Sirsi, A. Mohan Kumar from Kerala, then Dinanath Manohar from Maharashtra. So, these people were the important figures in the Western Ghat movement. They organized this movement against the Kudremukh iron ore project and also to save Tunga and Bhadra river. Then last but not least, that is a well-known personality of Karnataka. We are proud about her achievement. Every citizen of the country should be proud about her achievement, and it is a model to each and every citizen of the country, and she is none other than Salu Marada Timmakka. The achievement of achievement of Salu Marada Timmakka. Salu Marada Timmakka. She is popularly known as Alada Marada Timmakka. Why she is famous? Why she is a model to every citizen of the country, not only to the country, even to the world. Alada Marada Timmakka or Salu Marada Timmakka, she belongs to Hulikal village of Magadi Taluk. Hulikal village of Magadi Taluk, Ramnagar district. So, student, please note this one is an important question for 1 mark in the examination. To which district Salu Marada Timmakka belongs to? To which district Salu Marada Timmakka belongs to? Salu Marada Timmakka belongs to Ramanagara district. You have to mention Ramanagara district. Salu Marada Timmakka and Bikkalu, they are the couples. Bikkalu is her husband's name. They were childless. They were childless. Now she is having a adopted son called Umesh BL. So they were childless. To overcome their grievances or their pain, what they did, they started planting trees. They started planting banyan saplings, where in both the roadsides between Kudur to Hulikal. Between Kudur to Hulikal, they started to plant banyan saplings. With their meager income, they are not rich, they are not well established, they are not landlords, they are working couples. So, with their meager income, they reared and carried, every day they reared and carried these banyan saplings. And today you may have, if you have the idea, today in both the sides these trees become one of the important model for the protection of environment. They planted nearly 385 banyan trees, and they also planted 4,000 other trees. They also planted 4,000 other trees. Now, the government of Karnataka took the charge of these trees. Still, in her age-old days, she is fighting for the protection of environment. She has a spirit, she has a willpower to fight for the protection of environment. And the great achievement of Salu Marada Timmakka was recognized by the central and state governments. Rajyosava award has been given to Salu Marada Timmakka. National award has been given to Salu Marada Timmakka. Recently, you may have the idea, last year itself, Salu Marada Timmakka was awarded with the prestigious Padma Shri award. Almost all of you may watch in TV when Salu Marada Timmakka was taking the reward from our Honorable President Ramnath Kovind with a simple dress. So, Padma Shri award was given to Salu Marada Timmakka for her achievement. Apart from Padma Shri award, she was also awarded with the Kannada Rajyosava award. In 2010, Nadoja award was given by Hampi University. In 1995, National Citizens Award was given. Parisara Ratna award was also awarded. Green Champion award was also given to Salu Marada Timmakka. Then Vraksha Mata award Karnataka Kalpavalli Award in 2000 was awarded. A seminar paper was also presented in the United Nations regarding her achievement. A seminar paper was also presented in United Nations regarding her achievement. So, it is noteworthy. We should take Salu Marada Timmakka as a model regarding the protection of our environment. Protection of environment is the need of the day. It is necessary to bring our environment, clean environment, our environment in the sense that clean environment and safe environment for the future generation. Every year, as already mentioned, June 5th is fixed for Environment Day, celebration of Environment Day. But we should remember that it is only a day to give honor for the environment. We should celebrate Environment Day each and every day itself. What we can do? A simple activity also can protect the environment. We the students are simply eating chocolates, then what we will do? We will throw it to the roads. Should not do that. Simply put it to the dustbin. Simply make the processing of the waste. That is very important. Create awareness. Tell the people who are spitting in the public places. Tell the people who are throwing the garbages in the public places. You have the right to tell. So, we should protect our environment. That is a necessity of the day. Otherwise, tomorrow we are in great danger. So, this is about the last concept of the environment movement. So, now I want to summarize everything what I did in the 4th chapter. First concept what I did was the Dalit movement. So, in the Dalit movement you must remember the slogan given by Dr. Ambedkar for the Dalits. That was education, organization, agitation. So, 1 mark questions. It is a 1 mark question. Name the call given by Ambedkar for Dalits. That is education, organization, agitation. Then who are Dalits? Then name the 4 Varnas. Then 4 Varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, which was existed in the Indian society. So, you have to mention the 4 Varnas. It is also important regarding the examination point of view. Then you have to remember what is social inequality, meaning of social inequality, then economic exploitation. Then second, causes of the Dalit movement, political implications of Dalit movement. You have to study separately for 5 marks. If it is asked jointly, it may be a 10 marks question. You must be clear about the Dalit Act. This is about the Dalit movement. Second one is the backward class movement. Who are the backward class? 2 marks question may be asked in the examination. Name the important leaders of the backward class movement. You have to mention important leaders like Swami Narayana Guru, then Sahu Maharaj, the Krishnaraj Vodayar the 4th. So, some important Maharaj of Gwalior. So, you have to mention the important leaders who are associated with the backward class movement. Then in the backward class movement, one more thing you have to remember that when and where the first backward class movement started in India, it was in 1920 at Mysore. Then Leslie Miller Committee, when it was appointed, who appointed Leslie Miller Committee, when it was appointed in 1918, Krishnaraj Vodayar 4th appointed the Leslie Miller Committee. So, you have to mention that one also. Then in the Mandal Commission, when Mandal Commission was formed, report of Mandal Commission, you have to remember that. Feminist movement, what is a feminist movement or women movement? Then who fought for the Sati system? Name the social reformer who fought for the Sati system. Then when did Widow Remarriage Act implement? Then when and where Hindu Widows Home was established in 1899 by T.K. Karve at Pune. Hindu Widow Home was established. Sati system, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, you have to remember. Then 1856 Widow Remarriage Act, you have to remember for 1 marks and 2 marks questions. Then when Manusmriti was implemented, by whom? In 185 BC, by Pushyamitra Shringa, Manusmriti was implemented. So these are all, sorry, it is in backward class moment, you have to remember that. Important leaders associated with the feminist movement, Jyotiba Phule, his concept of Akshara Kranti, Savitriba Phule, the first women teacher who gave education for the backward class people. These things you have to remember. Savitriba Phule, Jyotiba Phule name you have to remember. Then about the labor movement, which day is celebrated as a Labor Day? May 1st, you have to remember for 1 marks, Labor Day, labor movement. Who are the laborers? Then important labor organizations, you have to remember. Farmers movement, what is the important occupation of the farmer? You have to remember agriculture, simple answer it is agriculture is important occupation of the farmer, you have to remember. Then about the human rights movement, what is a human right? Then which day is celebrated as a Human Rights Day? December 10 is celebrated as a Human Rights Day because on that day, December 10, 1948, United Nations made a declaration called Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights was made. For that reason, on December 10 every year, Human Rights Day is celebrated. Then in that chapter, in that concept itself, what is Maryada Hatya? You have to remember for 2 marks what is Maryada Hatya. Then National Human Rights Commission, the abbreviation National NHRC, abbreviation may be asked in the examination, National Human Rights Commission. When National Human Rights Commission was formed 1993, then State Human Rights Commission SHRC. When the Karnataka State Human Rights Commission was formed in Karnataka, State Human Rights Commission was formed in 2005. So these dates you have to remember. Then environment movement, what is environment? You have to remember for 2 marks what is environment. Then you have to remember about Salumarada Timmaka, that is a native district of Salumarada Timmaka, that is Ramanagara district, Ramanagara district. Then the name the important environmentalist who filed the affidavit in Supreme Court for the cleaning of Ganga water, that is M.C. Mehta. So I briefly summarized what we did in this chapter. So dear students, make it clear, in this chapter approximately nearly 14 marks question will be asked in the examination, and generally 1 mark question, 2 questions will be asked for 1 mark, 1 2 mark question may be asked in the examination, then 5 marks, either 5 marks or 10 marks question may be asked in the examination. So totally 14 marks question will be asked in the examination, approximately, not fixed, approximately 14 marks question may be asked in the examination. So be clear. So this is about the 4th chapter regarding the social movements and their political movements. Hope you are all got this chapter, various aspects of this chapter. Thank you for being with us. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.